Hi everybody, hello. Welcome to week number 2 in July's Racing by Card Class, Coffee and Card Class. Thanks for joining me everybody. Today I'm going to be sharing you the second design in this month's class. We're using the Racing by stamp set and across the Tuesdays in July, and I'm showing you different techniques to bring that stamp set alive into different card designs. I've just shared a little sneak peek on the graphic for this video, and it's a really fun one actually. It's probably the funnest design of the 4 weeks, so I do hope you'll enjoy putting this together. If you're following along at home, you just need kit number 2 and you'll need some scrap white card from your kits for this design. Colour wise, I'm using Real Red and Memento inks, and I've used a little bit of blending in the background. So I will hop on over to my desk and show you the card design, and we can make a little start. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to bring my camera in a little bit because it's somewhat far away. So apologies if this gives you a little bit of a headache. I'll try and keep it steady when I move it. Okay. So you should now be able to see my desk. Lovely. I can see the card, which is always nice. So this is the card that we're going to make today. I'll just hold it up to the camera so you can see it in a bit more detail. I've gone with a little racing car theme, which is basically something that's really fun about this design. And I've tried to show off some techniques that you can do with the flag stamp. Okay, so we'll make a little start. I've gone ahead and I've got all my pieces ready, so I'll talk you through what they look like. So in your kit you will have a basic white card base, you will have a white layer for the outside, and it's just a little bit thinner than the card front. You will have 2 pieces of white card, and that is what we're going to stamp the flag image on. And then we have a little strip of basic grey card which we're going to use for the road. And let me just flip this around. I'm just going to grab some scrap paper for me to do my stamping on. So I've got me a piece of scrap grid paper, and I'm going to start with my stamping on my 2 pieces, my 2 strips of white card. Okay. So this is the stamp set, and this is the image I'm going to be using. It's the little checkered flag, and I'm going to stamp with Memento ink pad. Okay. So let's just make a start. So what I'm going to do is I want this to be along one edge. So I'm going to stamp this image so that it goes off the edge of my piece of card. You see that there? So when we tuck it behind the white piece, it's going to look like we've got a checkered piece of card. So then just follow that all the way down. I'm keeping the stamp the same way up, and I'm matching the edge of one image with this edge of the next image. So you'll end up with something that looks like that. Okay, I'm going to do the same on the second piece. Just following that down. I do love it when the stamp lines up. It makes life so much easier. Okay. So now I've done that, I want to stick this onto my card front so that the edge, so that the stamping that's gone over the edge becomes our outside edge. Okay. I'm going to stick those down. So I'm putting one about there. and then I'm going to put the other one the other side. Okay. There we go. And then the idea is this piece sits over the top and it covers up that shaped edge of the flag. So it now looks like we've got checkered patterned paper underneath each side. But before I do that, I'm going to work on this. So on this piece of card, I have a light grey granite stamping blend, and I'm going to use the felt tip edge just to add a bit of speckling. No, perhaps it wasn't that colour. I'm going to use light pebbled path. It was. Yes, pebbled path. Here we go. So I'm going to use a light pebbled path stamping blend. I'm going to use the felt tip end to just add a splash of colour in the background, and it just adds a little bit of detail in that background. Okay. Once I've done that, I can then stick my piece of card to the card front. Okay, and I'm lining it up so that it sits in the middle of those two panels. Okay, so that's coming along nicely. The next thing I want to do is I want to add my piece of my piece of basic grey card to this. Okay, so I'm going to put some glue just on here, and you want it to be at an angle. You don't want it to be so it's a silly hill. You want it to be a sort of a nice gentle slant. Okay, and I'm going to leave that to dry. So while that's drying, I'm going to bring in some scrap white card, and I'm going to stamp my racing car. Okay, so the outline is being stamped with memento, so black. And the inside of the car detail, I'm stamping with real red. You can choose any colour you fancy as well. This design will work with any colour. And line up your stamp. So we now have a little red racing car. And I love the way these stamps line up. They line up really neatly. And the last piece of the car, or two things, I have the wheels to stamp. And I have the racing driver inside. Perfect. So once I've done that, I can then use my scissors to cut the car out. And I'm leaving a little white border . So just following that round, making sure not to cut the racing driver's head off. Okay, so there I have my racing car. I can bring my card front back in now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip off this excess grey card because we don't need it. And then I'm going to stamp my sentiment first. What I don't want to do is stick my racing car on and then not have enough space for my sentiment. This sentiment is racing by to say happy birthday, and I'm stamping that at the same angle as the piece of card so that it looks like that. Okay, now I can put my racing car onto foam pads, Actually, I'm going to use a little strip of foam pad. I'm overlapping it so that it just overlaps the edge there. Dimensional backing. And then the last thing I need to do is to add my flags at the top. So I'll just bring in another piece of scrap, and I need to stamp 2 flags. And these are really simple to cut around. They're nice and straightforward. There we go. One. And 2. That's it. Bring my card back in, and what I want to do is I want to stick 1 down and then put 1 over the top. So I need a couple of dimensionals. I'm going to put 2 on one of the flags to start. I'm just angling them ever so slightly. And then on this one, I'm just going to put a little one there and a bit of glue because I want them to overlap slightly. There we go. And then the last thing I need to do is to add me a little bow of linen thread. You can make your bow as big or as small as you fancy. And I'm just going to attach that to the middle with a little glue dot. So take your bow to your glue dot, hold it, and then I always like to use my scissors to take these off of the strip, and just pop that in the centre. And trim the tails. And there we go. That is card number 2, all complete for you. Not bad, not bad. Just under 14 minutes that took us. So we've got our nice racing car going up a hill, hope racing towards the finish line. So next week, join me at the same time, same place, 2 o'clock, to make card number 3. And that is going to look like this. So I look forward to seeing you all then. Bye for now, everyone.